Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Sorry I haven't posted in a long time. Had a couple of weddings the past couple weekends, and I've been sick, and I'm now just getting at the tail end of my sinus infection. So if I sound a little froggish, I apologize. But yeah, I'd like to get back into this stuff and show you guys some more cool stuff that Maya can do. Right now, I asked a friend of mine what they would like to see in a tutorial, and they came back with a basic tutorial, which is totally fine. But it was, how do I make a ball bounce on a plan, just a surface? Well, that's, animation 101, right? So let's go through that really quickly. This is my 2018, again, as usual. We're going to, let's see if I can get my control button there to show the mouse, because I'm not sure if the G-force experience shows where the mouse is. So we're going to try my best to show you where I'm pointing it as I move it. So I'm going to right now create a polyplane and press the R key to scale the plane up to about the size of the actual grid here. And we're going to go back up here where polymodeling is, and we're going to create a sphere, aka our ball. Press the W key to move the ball up. So right now the ball is on top of the sphere. The sphere is on top of a plane, and this is our ball, pretty much. I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. What I'm going to show you, one is the basic keyframe way, which is keyframing is very, very, very useful. It's very manual animation, but it's very useful. And I'm going to show you how to do it with the nCloth simulation, which is also very useful, but it's a little more time consuming and it's a lot more complicated to figure out. But we're going to start with the basics first. Let's move the ball to the left of this plane right here, because I'd like to try to see if I can move it up and have it kind of animate like this. I don't know if you can see the mouse or not, but we're going to have it animate like this, coming down on the plane, bouncing up and down, and bounce this way. So we're going to start with the ball up here. You can start with the ball wherever you want to, but I'm going to start it up with right here. And since I'm on the first frame, right, this is my keyframe selection right here. My mouse is keyframe selection. I'm going to press the S key. So the ball starts there. So basically what I'm doing is taking this, and this is the sphere, or my ball is selected. I press the S key. That means a keyframe is selected in this timeline right here. So if I were to take this and move forward about, let's say, right now this grid is playing at 24 frames per second. It'll take about a second or so for the ball to fall. So let's go to 24. Let's bring this guy down to here. So the ball is going to be a rubber ball, but it's going to have, anything that falls is going to have a little deformation to it. So we're going to put right there and press the S key. So you're wondering if the ball just fell. How do I see if it fell? Well, see where my ticker is? I'm going to go over here and I'm going to press this all the way back. See how it changed back? Then I'm going to press the play button, which is this sort of triangle that's upside down, facing to the right. That's a quick second. So we're going to take this key right here. I'm not sure how to do this. I think I'm just going to erase it first. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to focus. I'm going to bring this slider this way and then one slider this way. Focus 24. Right click, delete. So that keyframe is gone. Bring this back so I can focus on this slider here. So this slider says I'm going to focus on frame 1 to frame whatever you're ending. So I'm going to focus on frame 70 right now. Give us more space to work with. I'm going to put this on frame 40, 44, 48. It'll take about 2 seconds to fall. Let's just pretend. So I'm gonna bring this guy down again. Have this ball bounce right here. Rewind, play back. Alright, so it plays really fast. Bring this up to 200 again. It's gonna be really fast the way this records. So this guy is ended right here. So I'm gonna bring this. So these guys, this step back 1 key will step back to the 48 key. If I were to do it again, step back to the 1 key. So I'm gonna bring it forward. I'm going to take my scale tool. If it's too small to see, press the minus key, makes it smaller. Press the plus key, it'll make it larger. We're gonna scale down like that, so it has more of a bounce to it. Press S again, and we're gonna go up to frame 110, just because it seems logical. And we're gonna move it up to here. Press S. Rewind. Play. So that's what happened. That's the bouncing ball-ish. It really isn't the best, but that shows you what you can do with keyframing. So if I were to keyframe the plane to go down and up, you can do the same thing. But right now I'm just trying to show you the basics of keyframing with the bouncing ball. Take the ball, you bring it down a couple of frames, key it, bring it up a couple of frames, key it, bring it down a couple of frames, key it, and then a couple up, and then as it goes, and you perfect the art of the animation style. That's how you do that. We're going to start new. Do this again. Make another sphere. Bring it up. And then we're going to do it a different way this time. I'm going to go over here to our modeling shelf and go to, is it FX? Yes, FX. And we're going to nCloth right here. We're going to go to create nCloth. Now, you may wonder, I'm going to stop right here for a second and tell you what this means. nCloth is sort of like a simulation that Maya does. It's really good, but you have to figure out how to use it. You do nCloth. Think of like when you animate stuff like clothing or a blanket or anything that's soft that's fluttering in the air like a flag. nCloth is probably the easiest way to animate that to make it look the most organic and natural. And you're gonna see why in a couple minutes, but this is on the ball. So create nCloth. So the nCloth is created. If I press the back key, rewind. When you're in nCloth simulation, you should always, before every single simulation, go to start a playback range, press that once, and then press play. It's just gonna fall. But you notice something. It's not a solid object. It just falls right through the plane. You notice how it falls like gravity falls. So, well, I need to have it hit the plane. So, and this is our nucleus right here. That I'll explain later. Let's select the plane, go back to nCloth, and create passive collider. So it's the collider. Hit back, simulation, press play. It just turned into a smush rubber ball that just gets flattened. So, how are we going to change this? Go to attribute editor, go to nCloth shape. Collisions. See, now I'm going to be doing this along with you because I haven't done this in a long time. Collision property. Dynamic properties, what we want to do is stretch resistance is already up. Bend resistance, I think it's what we want is rigidity. Yeah, we want to make it rigid. So we're going to go to, let's go 1 for the ball so it doesn't get flattened. Oh, better. There we go. do it again. So that's what we wanted the first time we did the simulation. We wanted to bounce. So what happens if I do it at 0.5? Very bouncy. About 0.1. Then I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to create a larger timeline here. I'm going to make it at, say, 500. Move this all the way up to 500. That way we can see what happens. Run the simulation again. Alright. So we see what happens there. Deformers, let's go back to 0.5. And that deals with so rigidity means how rigid it is, how stiff the object is. As you can tell, when I had a 1, it was like a cue ball, like a pool table. At a 0.5 like I am now, it's more like a rubber bouncing ball. Let's see. Mass. This stuff I'm not really familiar with, so we're not going to go too deep into it because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. As for, we're going to use, I'm trying to figure out where forces is, so just give me a second. And constraint, force field, no, field, there we go, air, I believe, I'm sorry, I know I'm kind of spacing out here, I'm just trying to figure out, I know there's something in here that deals with pushing the ball in a certain direction, so I'm trying to find it, and I apologize for the, oh, here it is, force field generation, wind field generation, so you want to do wind air push distance, yes, let's try that. Nope, okay, so let's turn that back. Air push velocity. No. Pressure. So I apologize, I'm just still trying to figure this stuff out as I'm going with you here. Well, normal, let's see what force field does. Okay, so it doesn't really do anything. Single-sided. So, what we're going to do is go to time. No, we don't want that. By the way, you'll see that in your outliner what everything looks like. You can select it all, and rigid is basically the how rigid it is. nCloth is your actual simulation right here. I'm trying to figure out where to. Alright, so let's do this. Let's try this out. Heck, why not? It's in the direction of Y, so I want it in the direction of Z. Because Z is going this way. There we go, that's what I wanted. I apologize for that long delay, but we gotta figure this out. So I'm gonna go back to my nCloth here. I'm gonna make it stiff as a board, rigidity at 1. And I'm going to, I apologize for my voice again, I just got over a cold, so that's why I sound so froggish. So that's it. You can go up to bounce, and make it bounce more, I'm sure. Or not at all. So that is basically how to make a ball bounce in a field like this. Um, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video.